going to be a good one, so pay attention. Summer is a delicious cocktail for dehydration, and you probably don't know the price you're paying for being dehydrated. You probably know the price you're paying when you go on a bender and you wake up hungover as fuck, but that's an extreme case. And there's a lot of other symptoms of dehydration, even if slight, that are significantly impacting your performance, your focus, your recovery, so on and so forth. And summer is just the absolute worst time to be hydrated because it's hot outside, you're sweating. Even if you're not sweating, the UV exposure is increasing your metabolism and drying you out. And people love boozing during the summer, and alcohol does not help anybody ever. So let's get into it. We're going to touch on a little bit of biochemistry, and we're going to talk about what electrolytes actually are. And then we'll get into practical applications. How do we win this game, mitigate the propensity for dehydration during the summer, and make sure that we're topped up? Boom. Talked about that already. Talked about this already. So most people think that, yeah, they reduce the conversation of hydration simply to drinking enough water because we just associate hydro, water. Okay, that's part of it, but the ability for water to hydrate your body is varies widely, varies widely. In fact, distilled water, which has no minerals in it whatsoever, dehydrates you. I'll get to that in a second. So it's not just about drinking enough water. And after we get through the content that I have prepared, you'll know exactly why. So first of all, what the fuck are electrolytes actually? So an electrolyte is a mineral that carries a charge. And specifically, your body uses 6 key electrolytes. There are many trace minerals that exist in your body, but they're as their name implies, they're very slight concentrations. These are the main ones that you'll see much more of that are essential, absolutely essential to every single cellular process: sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, chloride, and phosphate. So so the nervous system communicates with itself. Nerves communicate with each other via electrolytes, via action potential, electrical impulses, which are moderated by the concentration of these electrolytes in your body, in the synapse. Right here it says every nerve impulse is sodium and potassium moving in and out of cells. So if you don't have any electrolytes in your body, literally it shuts down, lights out. And as a corollary or an offshoot to that, muscle contraction, because as we all know, every muscle contraction is a nerve signal. Motor neurons are innervated by the peripheral nervous system, which is activated by the central nervous system, which receives signals from your brain. And that's what actually makes those muscle fibers contract. And in the case of muscle, calcium and magnesium are the primary drivers. Calcium sends a signal that causes your muscles to contract. And then magnesium sends a signal for your muscles to relax. And this is why magnesium gets so much press, as it damn well should, for being essential in muscle relaxation, but also just general recovery. We used to get much more magnesium from food and from water, but we've completely stripped our soils of nutrients. Monocrop agriculture, ubiquitous use of harsh pesticides, chemicals, and that's just during the production, the growing of food, not to mention what happens to the food after it's been grown and harvested and processed and turned into the thing that actually makes its way onto your grocery store shelf and wrapped in plastic. So the mineral content that we're getting, the micronutrients that we're getting from our foods, pales in comparison to how it used to be, how it's supposed to be. Brain function, again, this all has to do with nervous system signaling. Since your brain basically is the one big mainframe of nerves, and it's 73% water, it's very sensitive to imbalances in your electrolytes. It's not just a headache, poor focus, brain fog. I actually didn't fully grasp this until I started supplementing with electrolytes on a regular basis, and I noticed that 2 p.m. lull that I would usually get, where I'd just be a little foggy, a little bit The words weren't really there. Not the case. That was super focused, super clear, very highly actualized, but not in a stimulated, caffeinated sort of way. Fluid retention, that's a big one. So if you're concerned about looking super bloaty, then you want to make sure that your electrolytes are in check, not out of whack, and especially not acutely, because then your body does it upsets the whatever the balance point was. You don't want them too low either. And then lastly, energy production. Every little packet of energy that your body requires comes from ATP, and ATP is broken down and then reproduced using cofactors from electrolytes. That's the basic version of the biochemistry. Where are we? So let's zoom in a little bit on the action potential I talked about. So this is one nerve talking to another. And it's important to understand this just even at a cursory level, so you can kind of get the radical importance of sufficient electrolytes in your body. So imagine there are two nerve synapses sitting there. One, for lack of a better term, you've got like the male side and you've got the female side. Male side sending a signal to the female side. And then, on the other side, these are two different nerve cells, right? They're linked in a chain all across your body. And so then the signal goes from the male end of one nerve to the female end of another, and then that sends it on up the chain, right? And this female end's got a male end, and it goes on up, right? So potassium is chilling inside the actual nerve cell, inside the actual synapse. Sorry, the synapse is the gap in between, inside the actual nerve cell. And sodium is in the interstitial fluid all around the outside. And this creates a charge, right? And so then cell opens up, sodium rushes in, and then the charge flips. And then that's what sent that electrical impulse. And then potassium rushes out, and then that resets the electrical impulse inside the cell. And that impulse now travels on into the next cell. And this is happening over and over and over again, everywhere in your body, thousands of times a second. And so if any of that balance is messed up, if there's not enough sodium or potassium, then that signal is weak or non-existent, and things get screwy. We talked about this already. So, poor or inadequate magnesium can translate into, or could cause cramping, tightness, restlessness, poor sleep, because magnesium is also crucial in parasympathetic nervous system function, which we'll get to a little later on. So it's not just, there's a lot of hype and trends out there in fitness and wellness. And electrolytes definitely gets lumped in as one of those, but it's really important. There's a few, my job is to basically filter through all of the trends that are out there and show you guys the ones that actually really matter. Electrolytes is one of those. So, and especially this time of year, right? And we talked about the sweating, losing electrolytes. You can actually sweat out 1 to 2 liters of water per hour. Seems like a lot, eh? You don't really notice it because the whole point of sweat is that it evaporates on your skin and cools you. And usually it does, unless it's like swelteringly muggy outside. And then you get a little swampy. But by and large, yeah, you're being evaporative cooling and you're going through legitimate amounts of water. But even if you're not, the UV stress will increase oxidative load, depletes magnesium. So the season itself tends to dehydrate you. And then, of course, everybody loves their cocktail. Everybody loves their brewski. Everybody loves their frosé. Bad. So practically speaking, like, what does this drop in electrolyte balance do? Well, from a performance standpoint, even just a 2% reduction in fluids compared to your total body weight will create a noticeable decline in strength and endurance. Cognition, we talked about that. And you'll know, and this will take place even before you feel thirsty. If you're dehydrated, that will trigger an immune response, a stress response, which is going to jack cortisol and then crush testosterone and other anabolic signals. We talked about, when did we talk about that? A couple of weeks ago, 2, 3 weeks, whatever. That was last week. That's right. And then we talked about sleep and magnesium role in regulating and providing high quality sleep. This is why every time you see a magnesium supplement, they talk about taking it at night before you go to bed. It's legitimate. It's legitimate because parasympathetic activity is ripping, or it should be, at night. And magnesium regulates that whole process. muscle recovery. Not only will they not recover, but they just straight up won't even relax. How crazy is that? So you're just going to be stuck there, tense, tight, achy. What does this lead to? This leads to lack of flexibility. This leads to being fucking exhausted, and it leads to injury. So just don't go there. And then, of course, digestion also affected. Nervous system is highly correlated with gut health. And those action potentials are involved in nutrient absorption. Doesn't just make you thirsty. So it makes you slower, weaker, fatter, and dumber. I like that. So what do we actually do? So lowest hanging fruit, and this is something that I've done without fail ever since I heard about it, every single day. Gosh, it's been at least 8 years. 2017, 9 years. The morning mineral cocktail. So you can make your own version, which I'll explain in a second, or you can just slam some electrolytes first thing in the morning. Whatever you do, you need to rehydrate, because the morning is the time when you've just spent 8 hours not drinking water. And it's not like nothing's been happening. We just talked about, you've been doing a lot. Your body's been, your brain's been active the whole entire time in deep sleep and REM sleep. All of these things require electrolytes. And maybe hopefully you're not mouth breathing while you sleep, but a lot of people are. So you're drying out your mouth that way. So please, if you take nothing out of this, take this. Don't drink coffee before you get 16 to 20 ounces of water with electrolytes mixed in. Don't do it, because caffeine dehydrates you even more. But it feels like it's hydrating you because it is in fact liquid, but it's not. Please don't do it. You will feel, if you do, I've had clients who will sign up for a 30-day challenge, and they don't follow it hardly at all, but they do follow the morning mineral cocktail and they feel better, significantly better. It's that powerful. So if you're waking up and your fancy drip brew machine is already singing when you wake up, making the house smell amazing and just getting you titillated for the slippery black deliciousness that's about to slide down your throat, get some water first. And so a couple of things you can do. Number one, like I said, you can just dump some electrolyte powder. I'll show you my favorite one here in a second, into some water and slug it. Or, well, you should also absolutely have access to alkalized, mineralized water. So tap water, not great. Purified water, even worse. If the water that you're getting is coming from those fucking Nestle plastic, get yourself a filter for your house, either under the kitchen sink or a whole house filter that's going to re-mineralize the water for you. The filters that get the bad stuff out and the reverse osmosis, like, that's all good. You need that, but you also need that stage where it's restoring ideal pH and mineral content. You need that. Okay, sparkling water, as a side note, is a great way to get those minerals, because it's not the same as the Nestle Pure Life little fucking hand grenades that you're drinking, thinking that you're doing yourself a favor. It comes from springs all across the world. I mean, pick which one's your favorite. What's Saratoga Springs is a good one here in the States. San Pellegrino is a classic. Gerolsteiner out of Germany. Like, these are all fantastic, like, artisanal spring well sources of water that naturally contains high content minerals. In fact, you can look at the Gerolsteiner bottle and it actually tells you how much of each mineral it has in it. It's pretty cool. Okay, so that's water itself. We talked about electrolytes. So what I do is I take my filtered water and then I add salt, about 2 teaspoons, maybe 3. That'd be a tablespoon. That'd be a lot. Somewhere at least a teaspoon of not like table salt, but from either like a good sea salt, because unfortunately now, we've completely destroyed our oceans. And so a lot of the sea salt that you're going to get now is going to have microplastics and all kinds of contaminants and toxins in it. So not all sea salt, unfortunately, now is good. Real salt is our standard. We use it for everything. It comes from salt mines in Utah, where these mineral deposits have been there for thousands of years. So they got put there before we had a chance to muck with the environment. And I need some electrolytes. The words aren't coming to me. Muck with our environment and infuse things into our salt that shouldn't be there. So real salt, about 1 to 2 teaspoons into 20 ounces of water. Then quarter squeeze lemon, squeezed, morning mineral cocktail. A little salty, a little sour, and it just gets my day started on the right foot. And I drink that before I drink anything else. Once you do that, go nuts on the coffee. I'm not saying don't have coffee. I fucking love coffee, but just do this first. And then, of course, so that was a big tangent, but I think you guys are tracking on just how important, and you have some strategies in place. Nail that morning or else. Water target. And then don't stop. Like, make sure you drink enough water throughout the day. If you've nailed your morning ritual, then you're ahead of the game, and you can kind of coast throughout the rest of the day, right? And you don't have to worry too much about it. And then, yeah, we talked about don't just drink plain water. So these are whole food sources of some of these key electrolytes. Yeah, the magnesium, like I said, I mean, in general, this doesn't pack as much of a punch as it should or it used to. Coconut water is still good. Sea salt we talked about. Broth is a good one. Well, because it's got salt in it. Olives are good. Yeah, dark chocolate. I would say like a lot of these sources of magnesium don't really amount to enough. I said coconut water, bananas, like those. That's pretty solid. Coconut water has more than just potassium in it. Greens, you shouldn't be eating leafy greens for the mineral content. So that, yeah, I think, for me and for most of my clients, like supplementing with electrolytes on a regular basis makes a lot of sense. Okay. So my favorite is Lifetime Hydrate. It's tasty. You can buy it as in a jar and then just scoop in as needed. So it ends up being way more cost effective than pretty much any other product out there. You can either get like, pretty high quality products that come in single serve pouches, and so you pay a premium for the packaging and the convenience, or you can get lower quality products in jars that don't, first of all, aren't Redmond real salt, contain and anti-caking agents, other ingredients that you don't want in there, artificial flavors, artificial sweeteners, all that mumbo jumbo. Lifetime is clean. It's highest quality salt. It's the exact salt that I use when I prepare food, and it's cost effective and it's tasty. Mixed or wild berry and strawberry lemonade are my go-tos. Lemon lime is amazing though. It tastes like original Gatorade. And then we talked about coconut water. Oh, and then magnesium at night. So I've touched on this in other places, but yeah, like, magnesium supplementation is definitely a good idea. 2 ways that I do it. Number 1, Lifetime Dream is a sleep optimization formula that has 3 different types of magnesium and ashwagandha and theanine and those, one's an amino acid, one's a phospholipid, and one is a herb. All of those things also greatly enhance sleep quality. So you can do that, get some wiggy, awesome dreams. Or you can just do magnesium glycinate powder from Thorne, which Lifetime also sells, and you can get it at a discount using my code. So stay tuned till the end of this, and I'll put that code on the screen so you can get that discount. Magnesium, it's the Thorne magnesium bisglycinate powder. That's what I'm currently doing single night. And it's really mild but nice flavor. It's not near as strong as the Lifetime Dream, but tasty. It's like a fantastic nightcap. And then if you are going to drink, my favorite strategy is to drink a glass of water in between every drink. So a 1-to-1 ratio. And then electrolytes after you're done. Ideally, even have a solid meal in you, or do some electrolytes beforehand as well. And then vitamin Bs, because vitamin B is one of the things that gets most, I don't know where it is, from alcohol consumption. Vitamin B gets stripped from alcohol consumption. So that's the alcohol side of the summer cocktail for dehydration. When it comes to exercise, pretty much the same thing. Hydrate before, during, and after. That's it. Don't use thirst as a cue. Just drink out no water. And if it's got, electrolytes in it, then it's just easier to drink enough, because it's also taste. Met few people that really enjoy just drinking massive amounts of plain water. If that's you, my hat is off to you. Most people don't. So that's also a great reason to supplement with electrolytes, because it's just more fun to drink. Breath work. I'm not going to get into breath work too much, but just know that it creates a cascade of benefits in your body that help you to maintain proper electrolyte balance. In this case, because it acts, tonifies, and improves kidney function. Other things that you can do from a recovery standpoint, a habit standpoint, to help you stay hydrated: getting in that cold water when you're at the lake, when you're at the ocean. Don't miss out on the opportunity. So many reasons to do it. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be painful. Just go in, take a dunk, and feel refreshed. And that vasoconstriction and then subsequent vasodilation is going to pump nutrients and fluid through your body's cells and bring those metabolites out and bring fresh supply of electrolytes in. And then just, the low intensity activities, walking, swimming, paddleboarding, yard work, all of it is going to work on the lymphatic system to move fluid and nutrients around your body. Grounding is one of my favorites. This one acts more directly, right? Because the earth actually has a grounding effect on your body's electrical field. In fact, this is, shown to be one of the main reasons why first world living is so detrimental to health long term, is because we never connect with the earth in an appreciable way. We're always protected by the buildings we inhabit. We're protected by the clothes that we wear, the shoes that we wear, and the habits themselves put us not in contact with the outdoors hardly at all. And so our electrical field just has nowhere to ground. All the energy just gets stuck. And it's not supposed to be that way. We're supposed to be in constant contact with the earth and with each other. And it has a distinct biological, biochemical effect. So get out there, get some grass between your toes, get some dirt on your feet, and thank me later. Yeah. So summer's tricky time, but if you just, like I said, if you get that morning mineral cocktail or morning electrolyte ritual in place, you do some grounding, you add electrolytes in and around exercise, intense activities that you're going to sweat, alcohol consumption, you're going to be in a radically better place to not only perform better, think more clearly, recover better, but also enjoy the activities themselves. So drop me a line in the chat or in the comments. What is your morning hydration ritual? Do you have one? If not, what do you think would be the best fit for you? Because it starts here. If you, as a final note here, I know we're a little over time, but it's worth it. It's going to be worth it, trust me. If you start the day off with a win, if you make a conscious, proactive decision to take care of yourself, take care of your health, treat yourself well, then that has a cascade of impact on how you live out the rest of your day. So completely above and beyond the actual physiological benefits that you're giving yourself by instituting this morning hydration ritual, you're also going to get psychological benefits of being somebody who wins. And what could be better than that? So don't be a loser. Grab some electrolytes from the LT shop, scan it right here. Add some, like I said, strawberry lemonade, lemon lime, wild berry. It's all deadly. Add it to your water. Drink profusely. Start winning the game. I'll see you guys on the other side.